$214.74. That is how much I make each month from YouTube. But you know something? I'm actually worth millions. Mentally. Let me explain. You see, for over 16 years, I worked at an Apple store. And for the first 10 years, I generally loved my job. I had fun at work, I worked with great people, and I basically just got paid to talk to people about which iPhone was best for them. And while the pay wasn't amazing, it was enough money for me to live off of and get by. I was making enough money to have my own apartment without any roommates. I made enough money to go on annual vacations. I made enough money to, say, go out with friends or maybe buy a new TV or something if I wanted it. Hell, I even made enough money to buy a brand new car. I had good healthcare, great benefits, I got discounts on their products, and I even got to work in Cupertino, which is where Apple is based, for 6 months. Overall, my job was stable and secure. I made enough money to live a modest, normal life. But over time, I started to develop a sense of isolation. Because even though Apple stores are incredibly packed places with people everywhere, I started to realize that I was lost in a sea of loneliness. And that's because I started to realize that my work schedule, it wasn't exactly aligning with my personal life. A retail work schedule is very hard to manage with friends and family schedules. I was always working when they weren't, and when I was off work, they were at work. So trying to find time to get together with family and friends was nearly impossible. I'd have to give up all my holidays seeing my family because, well, when you work at a retail store during the holidays, you can't exactly ask off work. And there were so many nights that I would work till 10 o'clock at night, only to get home by 11, have to cook dinner, eat dinner, clean up dinner, get ready for bed, maybe find time to do chores around the house that I didn't have time to do during the day because I was at work. And then I would try to unwind at night with maybe some Netflix or something before I got to sleep. And that meant I wouldn't get to sleep till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I wouldn't even get to sleep till 1 a.m. when I had to be up at 6 a.m. so I could be at work at 8 a.m. and repeat the whole schedule over again. On Monday, I might work 1 to 10. On Tuesday, I might work 8 to 5. And then on Wednesday, I'm working 10 to 7. One week I'm working Friday, the next week I'm not. And so there was just zero consistency working this kind of schedule. And that meant that if a friend asked me to maybe go catch a movie or grab some dinner or go to the beach on Saturday or go to a park on Sunday, I'd always have to say no because I was working. And don't even get me started with having this kind of work schedule and trying to actually date anybody. And so the feeling of isolation started to creep in. I started to realize that even though I'm surrounded by people every single day of my life, I wasn't actually able to forge any kind of real connection with them. I couldn't even establish a real friendship with any of my coworkers because we were always working different schedules. And that's when it hit me. I'm living to work and not working to live. I was giving all my time and attention to this one place, this one job, this one building that would forever hold me back from being able to forge any kind of real relationship with anyone around me, and I would forever be stuck here under this one roof, resetting passwords for a living. So that's when I knew I needed a change in my life. I needed a big change. I needed to escape. I needed to escape normal life. And so I put the wheels in motion to pursue a lifelong dream of seeing the country for a year. I quit my job, I put all my things in storage, I bought a teardrop trailer, and I traveled around the country for an entire year.
Take me to the ruins, aquifers and springs, baby ferns uncurling, every living thing. Be to me a mother, both hands on the wheel. Show me faded color, fields of chamomile.
But of course, this came at a huge price because even though I wanted to leave my job, I couldn't exactly afford to leave my job because I wouldn't make a paycheck that whole year I was traveling. But I was lucky enough to be in a good enough financial place where I could afford to travel for a year and not work. I had money saved up so that I could quit my job. I had a reliable car that I could travel in. My apartment lease was coming up, and I knew that I didn't want to stay in Tampa any longer, which is where I was living at the time. And so all the signs were pointing me in the same direction, that this was a great time in my life to start traveling. And it forever changed me. It allowed me to visit national parks that I've only read about before and visit breathtaking places that I've never even heard of before. I got to travel to new cities and be in new states. I got to see natural history in the West and be around man-made history in the East. And even though I didn't make a single dollar that whole year traveling, I knew that mentally I'd made the right decision for myself. I fell in love so much with that first year of traveling that I actually decided to keep on traveling for the rest of my life for the foreseeable future. But first I was gonna have to find a job. So when I came back to Florida after that first year of traveling, I immediately started looking for a job. But I knew that whatever job I found would have to be a job that allowed me to keep traveling. It would have to be a job that I could take fully remote. But I also wanted to seek a career where I could pursue my creative outlet. And this was a big one too, because for years I've been dabbling in video editing, I have interest in writing, and I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. So I've always had this creative outlet that I wanted to use somehow. And that's where making a YouTube channel came in. YouTube gave me the platform to, of course, be creative, but continue my passion for video editing and write stories. So I pushed hard on making YouTube a career. I pushed hard on making YouTube my job on the road. And that job allows me to keep sharing stories and encourage others to escape normal life too. And so this $214 fake check that I made out just for this video means I actually have something to look forward to. This means that I have an achievable goal and that there's an actual light at the end of the tunnel. This paycheck tells me that I can make this happen, that I can turn this channel into a real job. This check may not be as much as I used to make at Apple. In fact, it's far from it. I'm certainly not about to buy a brand new car with $214, that's for sure. But I literally get so excited every month I receive this because this YouTube check is worth so much more than I ever received at Apple. It means I get to see family and friends a lot now. It means I get to spend time with the people in my life that I love. It means I can spend the holidays with my family again, and it means I can go to the beach or the dinner with my friends when they ask. As long as it's a cheap dinner. I mean, again, I only make $214 a month. Now, obviously, if you're doing the math, you may be saying, wait, $214 a month times 12 months, that's not a livable income. And you're right, it's not. That's why technically right now I work 4 jobs just so I can keep afloat. First, I have the YouTube channel. Obviously, it makes me a couple dollars. And then 6 months ago, I started a travel agency so that I could help other people travel and see the world too. But those are 2 incredibly small businesses that are not exactly paying my bills right now. So right now on the weekends, I just work part-time at a friend's massage clinic, just working the front desk and helping people book appointments and things. And the 4th job I have is doing some video edits for my friend's YouTube channel, Wahiniki Botanicals. Because right now, while I'm back here in Florida, she's letting me stay here under her roof while I get my finances in order so I can get back out there and start traveling again. And even though I work 4 jobs right now just so I can pay my bills compared to that 1 job I had when I worked at Apple, I still feel like a millionaire. Because now I'm working towards something that is mine. This is my life and these are my goals. I'm no longer working to help some trillion-dollar company become even richer. I'm working towards something that I can actually call my own. So obviously $214 a month is not gonna make anyone a millionaire at all, but it gives me a millionaire's mindset. It gives me the freedom and mental inspiration to know that this is obtainable. It tells me that quitting my job was worth it. It proves that even though I was making a livable income with benefits, I wasn't able to spend time with the people around me that actually mattered. It proves that what I did was the right move for me. It proves that quitting something that was not healthy for me was the right move for me. It tells me that I'm escaping normal life. And even though I'm not financially rich, I do feel mentally rich, and you can't put a price on that. However, if I started to make more than $214 a month from YouTube, I wouldn't complain about it. Thanks for escaping normal life with me.